And we're live. Yes, that's right. We are live. Yes, yet again. Let's see if everything is okay. The microphone, the camera. I see that Carrie's here. Uh, Hello there, Carrie. Good to see you here. I see you've commented on this thing. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. We have Rich here too. The vegan pundit. That's a good thing. It's always nice seeing you too. Hey, we had one of my favorites here too. The other AJ. All right, that's nice. That's nice. All right, all right. Okay, guys. So now, last Friday we were responding to this video by Humane Hancock. Yeah, because I have difficulties with my phone battery, I decided to, you know, cut it in half. Just one part, the second part, whatever. Uh, is it about to start? Hey, if it isn't the one and only David C. Arenas. Nice. Well, known in the English speaking world as David C. Arenas. I don't like that. I think David Arenas is better, but whatever. I mean, that's the correct pronunciation, right? In a world obsessed with correctness and stuff like that, right? Um, all right. Okay, I see. All right, so, all right, people. So, yeah, we were reacting to this Humane Hancock guy, which this is what I think, guys. And I've been meaning to talk about this too, but there's this thing. Daddy C Arenas. Yeah. Nice, nice. Oh, bloody hell, man. All right, so yeah, you know, this thing, these plant-based utilitarians, we call them that because that's what they essentially are. It's not we're not trying to be offensive or anything with this. It's just describing what these people truly are. Because if you see veganism as a diet to reduce suffering, what is that? That's just calculations based on suffering, pain versus pleasure, discomfort versus comfort, and stuff like that. So these units of measure and stuff. Oh, hello there. Um, it's not. It just doesn't work that way because that's not what veganism is about. Like I've said many times before, and I'll continue to say it. It's about the total liberation of the animal kind from the humankind. That's it. We are the oppressors. We have to understand that we, as a society, as a species, we are the oppressor of the other animals. The entire rest of the other animals. And it doesn't matter what your situation is. You can be oppressed by other humans as well, but you are oppressing the animals at the same time. And we need to recognize this. It's not like, oh, I'm a victim of something, so it doesn't matter. I get a free pass or whatever. No, you don't get a free pass because there's no excuse for this. And this is the injustice that the majority of the world refuses not to see. All other injustices or, I don't know, discriminations or oppressions or whatever, the majority of people already know that they're wrong and they oppose to it. Even if the people in power uh, want to trample us and undermine the existence of different groups of people, we need to understand that as a human society we undermine the existence of the other animals. So that's why veganism was born in the first place, to look at this injustice that was seemingly invisible and bring it to the front of the issue and be like, hey, we're doing this thing to these other creatures and it's as wrong as any other injustice. Some say even worse because, hey, these animals are completely innocent of anything. Like humans, we are not always innocent of stuff, you know. So that's the other thing, right? Like animals are, completely innocent of anything, and their only crime apparently is to exist, and that's just wrong. So when we treat veganism as a diet to reduce suffering, we also keep it very vague. Hey, Luli Wizard is here, and I guess great other AJ pointing out that the innocence of animals also include the other carnivores, the carnivore animals. That's another conversation altogether. Uh, it's just absolutely, I mean, trying to paint a picture of the carnivorous animals as these vicious killers, as if they had any choice or any say into what they are or what they do when they don't. But maybe if they did, they would, I don't know, we don't know if they would try to change who they are or something. Maybe. We don't know. But they don't get the luxury. Like in nature, it's just, it's survival mode. And even if we don't see it as a good thing or as pretty or looks ugly from our perspective, it's not for us to judge whether this thing, like, to intervene there and try to, break up every fight within the animal kingdom. It's just that, I don't know. To me, that's an exercise in futility. But not only that, it's like, what are we doing when we are the perpetrators of the worst injustice that there is? And if anything, it should be the other animals pointing their their finger at us or their paws or something. I don't know. So if you think about it, we are in opposition of commenting or criticizing the other creatures, for their behavior. Um, but hey, so this Jack Hancock, you may be familiar with him, maybe not. Um, oh man, he's just another one of those, and it's sad because by keeping, like I was saying, by keeping this thing very vague as a diet to impact suffering, to reduce it, or I don't know if it's to end it, because I don't know if they cannot promise to end suffering because that's an impossibility in itself. I mean, unless you're willing to do something completely bonkers, like certain George Martin out there with a hypothetical button. But other than that, there's no guarantee here. So the only thing that we can guarantee the other animals is their freedom from us. That's it. And we're not even going to grant them that because some excuses or whatever. Even if the position of these plant-based utilitarians wasn't, even if they weren't convinced that giving the animals their freedom is enough, why don't they do that to begin with? Why don't they try to give them that, even if they don't believe in it? I don't know. Like, it seems to me like that's preferable to anything else. Yes, Martin Kevin is here. That's awesome. Awesome to see you, Martin Kevin. And yeah, so I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy that these so-called effective activists see veganism as just a strategy or as some kind of move, as if it was some kind of game or something. Because that's the other thing with these people. They have such a gamer mentality. Everything is a game to them. Everything is some kind of, I don't know, some kind of gotcha, some kind of owning the other person or whatever. It's like, that's just so childish. And it's not what the animals deserve. We deserve to have real conversations, a real, look, introspective look, just look at yourself, look what we're doing as a society to the other beings and just leave them alone. Like, I don't see how this is such an extreme position and dogmatic and is impossible to do. I don't see it. I see that it's really easy and easy to do. And we're playing checkers. Yeah, exactly, something like that. To turn people into plant eaters. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what they mean, because if veganism is a diet to reduce suffering, then you want to turn people into plant eaters, as many people as you can. So that's why you tell them, hey, if your grandmother makes lasagna, you don't want to upset her, so go ahead, eat the lasagna, whatever. You're still vegan. Like, bro, what is this? Like, grandma's lasagna, mom's spaghetti. What is this? What are we doing? That's not veganism. You're not making veganism look easy. You're making veganism not seem important, and you're making the plight of the animals a joke. Because if you're not convinced enough to refuse this grandma's lasagna at a family gathering, what message are you sending your relatives? You're sending the message that, yeah, I do this thing, but it's like well, do it if you want. If you're not, it's not biggie. No, it is a biggie. It's probably the biggest issue in our lives, in our lifetime. Lifetime. Yeah, palms are sweaty. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I don't know. So okay, so let's see what this Humane Hancock has to say. In the previous video, we left it at the point where he was going to say, or he was going to explain to us why veganism doesn't actually matter, according to him. Now we know that when he says veganism, we're sure that what he's saying is a diet to reduce suffering. In which case, he might be right. I don't know. He might even be right. But is he really? I don't know. I don't think so. But if veganism is the acknowledgement that the animals are in fact individuals whose lives belong to them and not to us, and that therefore we need to give them the freedom that we've taken from them, then how does that not actually matter? That's the thing that matters the most. In things that matter, I think this is the most mattering that anything can do. I don't know. Oh man. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see what Hancock has to say about this, because maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll surprise us and say something, that, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what he has to say.
But at the start of this video, I didn't just merely make the claim that veganism might not be the most impactful thing to do. I went further than that. I made a way stronger claim that veganism doesn't actually matter. Now, to understand what I mean, we need to look at an often misunderstood distinction, and one that I think has big implications for veganism. It's the distinction between intrinsic and instrumental value.
No. Yeah, I think we already covered this part the other video. Yeah, it's just, let me see, where did I leave it? Let me see.
Then that is intrinsically bad.
Yeah, we covered this part.
But it can be valuable intrinsically matters. It isn't good itself, it's just paper. But we can use it to affect, or think of the economy. Effects, the ends. We start prioritizing money or economic growth. Even think the same thing can happen with veganism. We can lose
right. Yeah, I think this is the part where I left it.
Track of the fact that veganism doesn't actually matter in and of itself. It is a strategy for affecting the thing that matters, which is animal suffering.
And like I was saying in the other video, like, you see, this is what he thinks. This is what he means by veganism. So he's already wrong. Like, the entire premise of the video is wrong in itself. So his explanation is going to be a faulty one, because he's not really explaining anything. He's just explaining why his position of plant-based utilitarianism doesn't work, which I think it's, in an ironic twist, really laughable.
But over time, we might start to confuse the means for the ends. We can start becoming hyperfixated on being the perfect vegan, rather than thinking about how to most effectively help animals.
Yeah, this is another one that they like to say, no? Yeah, the perfect vegan. You're just trying to be perfect, and you're just trying to be self purity or whatever. And we need to help the animals. It's like, uh, no, it's not about perfection. It's not about purity. It's about justice. It is a complete injustice that the animals are at our mercy when they shouldn't be. They should be free, and they should do with their lives whatever they want. Now, will they have a better life or worse life with us or without us or whatever? We don't know, but at least they're gonna be free, and at least they're gonna look and are going to search for their better life on their own terms and not under our terms. And in the human context, I like to point out that entire wars have been fought over freedom. None of them have been fought over reducing suffering. So, you know, that's just what I, so I don't know, man. Like, why won't we give the animals the same thing that we want to have? That's what I don't understand in this context. Nobody's saying that a war matters as a group of letters per se. It's yeah, exactly. Concept of emancipation animals from human control and instrumentalization. Exactly. Exactly. That's what matters here. But hey, remember, they're trying to strawman the whole argument and stuff because that's what they do. We need to remember that some of these people, they have ties to certain sponsorship deals and stuff and behind the curtains. So they need to maintain their image. They need to keep their activism as a career. And in order to do that, they need to do something that makes them look like they're doing something, but at the same time, they know they won't ever reach that animal emancipation. So they can be like 10, 20, 30 years doing this thing, giving speeches, doing lectures, doing cubes of truth, squares of something else, I don't know, triangles of virtue, whatever, I don't know. So that's what they do because that's what they want to do. They want to have a career out of activism. And that's, you know, I used to think, well, what's the problem if someone makes money helping the animals? I used to think, well, the problem is, do they really help the animals? Are they really doing it for that? Yeah, I don't know. And where is the money coming from? Unilever? I don't know, guys. I don't think that's a good thing. Um, Very suspicious, really. So I don't know. I'm not saying we have to live like a freaking monk or something atop a mountain and never interact with anyone and never do anything and never go out and never doing anything. That's not what I'm saying too. What I'm saying is, if you want to make a career of this, aren't you actually using animals for your own selfish purpose? It seems that you are. So it seems like you're defeating veganism by pretending to be one, like when you're not. I don't know. That's what I think it is. Um, and that's one of the problems here. This Humane Hancock is just one of them. It's one of these plant-based utilitarian zombies, and he's just another one. It's terrible, but it's true.
And I think this tendency to lose track of this distinction can be invisible and really sneak up on us. Maybe we don't identify as animal activists, we identify as vegan activists, as the vegan movement. The strategy becomes part of the identity.
Well, yeah, in fact, I don't even call myself vegan activist. Rather, I call myself a vegan messenger because that's what I do. I deliver the message of veganism to people. That's it. Because that's what we do as vegans. We communicate this information. The information of what is veganism and why it is important to leave the animals alone and give them their freedom. So I think that's what I consider myself. Whether I'm an activist or not, if I'm not an activist because I don't do street outreach or cubes of truth or cubicles of certainty or whatever, that Doesn't make me not an activist. That doesn't make me um, completely useless, you know. But that's what they want to make us believe. Yeah, exactly. Luli Wizard is correct here. There's no vegan movement. There's an utilitarian one. Correct. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's the issue here. But let's see what else.
Maybe forgetting that veganism is actually just one strategy to affect the thing that matters, and it might not even be the best one, so we shouldn't base our identity around it. And so if you realize that what matters isn't veganism, it's the experiences of sentient beings, you also.
All right, dude. Yes, what matters is the sentient beings, but what matters is their freedom from you. Okay, not you telling people, "Oh yeah, do meatless Mondays," or "Yeah, yeah, and ride a horse because they need to exercise." Like, what the heck is that? That's not what it is.
also come to realize something else. Veganism is too narrow in its circle of concern.
This is the other one that they like to say. Now he's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna now go on to the vegan blind spot, as he calls it, the wild animal suffering.
Because the vast majority of animals on Earth aren't farmed animals, they're wild animals. I think we have a tendency to romanticize nature and the lives of wild animals, but actually they've got it really tough. I mean, human civilization is kind of built on getting us away from the harsh realities of nature.
I don't even. I don't even. I don't know what to say to this. Like, amazing. Like, he's saying that veganism now is not that it doesn't matter, but also it's just not enough because of wild animal suffering. Man. And then that most animals are in the wild and they suffer the most, I guess. This is a strategy from them to take the blame away and the guilt from people, take their accountability off, and see, like, hey, see, there's this other issue, and vegans aren't even paying attention to that. We need to pay attention to that thing. And it's like, what is this? Like, when this did come about? I don't know, man.
We didn't always have vaccinations or treatment for the most painful diseases. People didn't always get support when they fell and broke their leg. And most animals are still stuck in that situation that we've happily escaped from. And
Look, listen to me. Yes, in nature, it happens. Animals fall off trees, they injure themselves, they get diseases, they get infections. Sometimes they cannot treat them, they die from it. It's sad, it's terrible, but it's not a responsibility to be the world's nanny, the world's babysitter, and be 24/7 like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, no, like we're some kind of Michael Jackson, like, Annie, are you okay? Like, no. We need to realize that veganism saw the injustice that we were perpetrating against the other animals directly, and said, hey, we need to stop this thing. So that's what veganism means. If you call yourself vegan, then that's what you are. That's what you stand for. You don't want to stand for that. You want to stand for something else. Then, sadly, you're not vegan. Sorry. That's just what it is. Call yourself something else, which many of these people do. They end up doing that. That doesn't prove anything. They do it out of spite. They do it to prove a point that they don't need veganism to help animals. When, in fact, yes, what the animals need is for the world to go vegan. And go vegan means accept the fact that the other animals are sentient individuals whose lives matter to them and they must be free. That's it. Yeah, exactly this, David. A justice movement about this. Imagine that. I mean, yeah, sure, we know animals get injured. Animals, they They die in nature as they would die in any other situation. Dying is part of this entire process. We all die at some point. We all get diseases. We all get injuries and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, we as a human society, we've come up with ways to circumvent these hassles. I don't know, I don't know how to call them, and kind of go around them. And sometimes we solve them, sometimes we treat them, whatever. And animals don't have that for the most part, even though many animals have been observed doing some kind of natural medicine, some kind of treatment and stuff like that for certain things. And even I think even ants have been now observed performing surgery, some kind of ant surgery and stuff. So hey, I don't know. Maybe animals do have a capacity that we refuse to see because we think that we're the best. We think we are at the top of everything, right? And animals, no, they're just like eternal babies. They can't do anything for themselves. No, they can. And maybe they would do more stuff for themselves if we let them, but because we don't even give them the chance, how are they going to prove that they can do stuff without us? Heck, in fact, animals in the entire history of the world, before the human animal came to be, animals were doing their own thing anyway. And from the start of the human civilization, wherever, they continue to do their thing, even if we are trying to destroy them. So I don't know, dude. It seems to me like animals are very much self sufficient and self reliant. We want to pretend that they're not, but they are, and that's one of the humanity's fault. We don't want to see ourselves as useless, and if someone else doesn't need us, then what's our purpose, right? That's something that happens in humans, you know. Um, it happens to parents when they grow older and they realize that their kids are now adults and they're like, oh no, they don't need me anymore, and what's my place in the world anymore? And it happens, and maybe it happens as a human species that we see other animals, and if they're independent, then why are we here? Well, if we they don't need us, then who are we? But that your identity crisis cannot, you know, topple the animal's individual uh, freedom. They existed before humans and will continue to exist after humans. But the important question is, bro, do you even outreach? Do you even get high for the interview? Did that happen? Someone got high for an interview? I didn't see it. And again, my happy birthday, Ma, which is not my birthday. Again, you know, it's weird. Weird that out of the 360 something days, there's just one that is my birthday, and it's never when I'm doing a live stream. That's just what it is. All right, so let's continue to listen to this non-quack.
We should care about animal suffering, even if we're not sure what we can do about it yet. We shouldn't trivialize the suffering of any animal, even if they're in a forest rather than a farm, and even if we didn't cause it ourselves. But if this idea seems really weird to you, you should check out this video I made specifically as an introduction to the subject of wild animal welfare. So, with all that said, what?
Okay, so now we were interrupted by an advert here. It's a preview for a movie or something with Pedro Pascal, obviously, because that guy's in everything now. So let me see. Okay, no. All right, so let's go. What does the Hancock say? Where's the super chat so I can ask AJ to twerk for bucks? Dude, no, don't remind me of that. Dude, you have no idea. One time, I I saw that David Rams was live streaming, and I click on the live stream, and when I click on it and the video pops up, I see him twerking. It's an image that my brain had decided to delete, and now you've brought back this memory, this horrible, horrible memory of David Rams's ass. Oh no. Now I need to go to therapy again for like 10 years. Yoinks. All right. So let's continue to suffer in the wild with Humane Hancock.
Why am I still vegan? Well, there are a few different reasons. First, all else being equal, going vegan still reduces suffering.
All right, dude. No, then you see, you were never vegan. You were never vegan, and you're not one now. You don't understand that.
I don't think it makes sense for me to prioritize the mild sensory pleasure I get from eating animal products over the far more intense suffering that it causes.
Another, you see, a utilitarian concept, a utilitarian calculation. Oh, my enjoyment of this steak is not greater than the suffering of the animal that died for the steak to happen. Like, dude, yeah, that's just a fact. No, it's not greater, but even if it was, then what? If you could prove that your enjoyment is higher than the suffering of the animal for your meal, then what? Then it would be justified. That's the problem with these utilitarians. Like, when is it justified to do something? When the pleasure outweighs the pain, or what is it? I don't know, my guy. I think this is just so ridiculous, man. Like, animals deserve to be free, whether they're delicious or not, doesn't matter. Like, doesn't freaking matter to me. Bloody hell. And in fact, it's not even that, because animals don't even taste good or anything. Flesh doesn't even taste good. None of that tastes good in the first place. We put all sorts of, herbs and spices and whatnot. So it's plants anyway that actually make things flavorful or whatever. I mean, if I pour, some sauce on my hand, I could eat my freaking hand anyway. Not going to, but. So it's like, man, no. These calculations, we need to do away with this. This is not veganism. It's not even remotely similar to veganism. It's some other concept that has nothing to do with it.
And it signals to others around me that there's something wrong with the way we're treating animals, especially if I bring it up all the time. And secondly, I just don't see meat the same way that I used to. I used to be so detached from the, yes, very obvious fact that meat is the body part of an animal. Now that disconnect is less present. I used to just see it as food. Now I see it as the flesh of an animal.
Yeah, well, dude, listen. Yes, I used to see those food items as the food item, and now I understand it comes from an individual who I don't own, morally at least, even if legally we do, morally we don't. So I leave them alone. Doesn't matter what they are. It could be a lamb chop, it could be a sausage, it could be anything. I don't want it. I don't want a leather shoe. I don't want a leather jacket. I don't want to ride on the top of any animal. I don't want to do anything to any animal. Okay, just want to leave them alone. Leave them be. Go away. Be free. Do your own thing, and be awesome. Far far away from me. And that's it. That's it. I don't see what's the big deal here.
And to be honest, I found it fucking disgusting.
Yeah, whether it is disgusting or not, that's not the issue either. Oh, I mean, what's disgusting is that we think that the animals don't even matter. They matter is if what we can take from them. If we can take something from them, then that's their value. When that's not true. What their value is inherent, which he even said at the beginning of the video, but apparently he forgot about that part conveniently. I don't know.
And lastly, by being vegan, at every meal, I'm reinforcing my commitment to taking animal suffering seriously.
Oh, balls. Okay, no. At every meal, this is another phrase that these people try to do. They're like, oh, you make that decision 3 times a day or not. No, you make that decision once. And you act accordingly the rest of your life. Because veganism, that's what it is. You make that decision once, not every meal. That's dumb. It's not like, oh, well, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I'm breakfast vegan, and then I'm lunch vegan from 12 to 3, and then I'm dinner vegan. Like, what? That's not a thing. You, if you're vegan because you believe or you acknowledge, like I said, the individuality of the rest of the animals, so you leave them alone. There's something that I've been meaning to say too, with this food-centric mentality. I'm gonna throw a hypothetical here, which the debate bros, they like it. So let's see about this hypothetical, right? Pretend a world very similar to this one, where we never used animals for food. We use them for everything else that we currently do: clothing, science, makeup, whatever, transportation, entertainment. But we never use them for food. In fact, the very thought of it makes us squirm. We don't want it, we don't do it. No one does it. We've never done it. Then what would veganism be? It would still be a principle of no animal use. It's just that there would be no food or dietary component to it because we never thought of using animals for food in the first place. But it would be about all those other forms of exploitation. So the same thing applies today. Why put this much emphasis on food when in reality it's the entire thing? It's the entire thing that's wrong, not just the food. It's not just that you're eating, I don't know, what do non-vegans eat? I don't even remember. But whatever, like, I don't know, like a hamburger or something. It's not about that. It's you don't use animals because you don't want to, because you realize they're not yours. That's it.
So I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't be vegan. By being vegan over your lifetime, you're going to spare a lot of animals from experiencing something terrible.
That's actually not a guarantee. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's a calculation that you cannot make. This thing that, oh, a vegan saves 200 animals a year and thousands of gallons of water and stuff like that. It sounds good to say, sure, and hey, it might even be a fact that you use less resources and stuff. Even though I'm not sure, because as it has been pointed out, different vegans in different parts of the world might make use of different resources. So some might be more resource intensive in our lives, and some others are more, less resource intensive or whatever. So we don't know this. We don't know about our carbon footprint or whatever, or if we really spare the life of different animals. I don't see it that way. I think when you're vegan, you don't save any animals. I mean, I am not a women attacker. That doesn't mean that I'm saving women from being attacked. I'm just not attacking them. That's it. It's just what it is. I'm not saving any woman. Like, how is that saving anyone? So the same thing goes for veganism. You're not saving any number of particular animals. You're not saving them from you in that sense. You're just not doing something that you weren't supposed to do in the first place anyway. So that's it. You're not doing a great thing. You're just not doing a horrible one. That's what you're doing.
Consequences are real. It's honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. But I am here to say that veganism isn't actually what matters. What matters is animal suffering. And veganism is one method to impact that?
Well, as we can see, the guy is completely wrong. So I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, it's it's amazing. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. If anyone has something to add, because I'm speechless at this point. I'm like, don't even know what to say.
And there is a lot less pain in this world because of it. But if we really want the world to be a safe place for animals, we have to think bigger than our harm footprint. And we have to avoid losing track of the fact that veganism is a means. It's not the end. We have to stay focused on impact.
Yeah, veganism is the end of animal exploitation. You mook. Ah, man. Not everybody with glasses is smart. You know? It's just reserved for a few of us. No. But man, I like Hancock. You're terrible.
Not purity or consistency. And maybe that means donating to effective charities. Maybe it means getting more involved with the movement. Maybe it means being open to strategies that feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar or...
Yeah, just do whatever. Just do whatever. Everything counts, guys. Everything counts. Don't you see? Yeah, you're reducing suffering, so everything counts. No, dude. Not everything counts. Bro, this is just... You've heard it here. It's just terrible. This is their ideas. This is what they promote. A utilitarian pain versus pleasure thing. Not really anything new here. Not really anything revolutionary or anything like that.
unpopular. Like, I don't know what exactly we should be doing when we realize that we're living in the middle of something that future generations will probably look back on with horror. But I do know we need more resources, more charities, more ideas, more discussions, and more people. People like you, willing to act on something you already know to be true. Even in a world that doesn't give a fuck, animals care about what happens to them. And so should we.
Oh, wow, Hancock. Wow. Bloody hell. Hey, by the way, AV, I got a hand sign for you. Wanna see it? Oh man. What the heck is this? Like, what is this thing? I don't know. Right, yeah. Effective. Donating to charities and stuff. Oh man. Well, guys, there you have it. That was part 2 of this ridiculous nonsense. Am I crazy here? Am I seeing something different? Am I in the wrong? Is he in the right? I don't know. What is this? Because I see it very clearly. And I don't understand how this concept of veganism is so difficult. They say that it's difficult for people to really grasp the concept and that we're making it too hard. But then they're trying to include as many things to it as possible, making it even harder for people to consider veganism. Because now they have to be preoccupied if a monkey falls off a tree in, I don't know, some jungle over there or something. Like, that's not my problem. I'm sorry, monkey. I don't want you to get hurt. It's sad if it happens. But, monkey, you're not my responsibility. So, sorry, dude. Grab onto the vines better next time. I don't know. Get good. I don't know what to tell you. It's just this anti-suffering thing is mental. It's madness, Absolutely ridiculous. It's a non. It's a completely. It's an impossible task. That's what it is. That's why they promote it, because it's impossible to do. You can never reduce suffering to a point where you'll be satisfied, unless you do, like I said, the button thing where you press the button and no sentient life exists anymore. That's great, Georgina. That's great, but that's not a solution. That's like, man, there's a thief in the house. There's a burglar. I'm gonna nuke the house, so there's no more burglar. Yeah, everyone is dead, but there's no one robbing me. So I guess that worked. That worked out. Like, no, dude, that's not how you do things. You expect no burglar in your home, and you expect to exist. So I don't know what to tell you. Veganism is not enough because it doesn't protect the goat from the chupacabra. Dude, you nailed it in the head. That's exactly what it is. My guy, you did it. David Arenas does it again. You know, amazing. Yeah. Chupacab bro, the Chupacab bro. Oh man, this is just, man. Animal suffering. Well, come on, dude. It's just, man. I'm not saying it's not sad, a sad situation or something, but the very same Yurovsky said in his speech that being sad about an obvious sad thing doesn't make you a good person. Which, hey, it's true. Doesn't make you good. Doesn't make you really anything. It's a sad situation. Chupa, chupa cabrón. Oh man, oh man. You know. Yeah, man. This is what sets us apart. You know, the Latin American people. We have things in our language that no one can top these things. You know, we have this very spicy sense of humor with words and stuff. Chupacabrones, that's freaking awesome. No one can say that in their language, you know. Oh man, oh man, that's great. So yeah, there you have it, folks. You be the judge. Should we be going to the jungle to put a band-aid on the little monkey's knees when they fall down, or or should we convince the world that the other animals are sentient individuals and they must be free? I don't know. Maybe that's wow, Carrie, swinging for the fences, huh? With this one, inhumane cockhead. Yeah, that's totally true. So there you go, man. Veganism means put a band-aid on a monkey's knee. Oh, vegan MAGA is here. That's nice to see you. Oh well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be saying goodbye for today's broadcast. It was great having you here. It was not great listening to this Humane Hancock. That was terrible. Uh, but hey, I suffered through this, but you guys were with me here, so that made it, the suffering was lesser by that. So thank you everyone who joined, and I'll see you on the next one. And remember, let's go save that monkey from the tree. Bye.